Hi, I'm Billy Van Campos, here for the exciting new show, Sit Rep, and I'm going to bring you this week's tactical tip. I'm going to answer a few questions that I see a lot on social media. It's usually from beginner players trying to get into mag-fed paintball or modern combat sports. Hopefully I can get somebody started in the right direction today. Okay, let's get started. First, let's talk about your air source. Yes, these little 13 CI tanks usually hold between 120 to 140 shots, but they're small, lightweight, compact, and a lot of markers use them as their buttstock. This is good if you don't want to run too much weight or if you don't want a remote line attached to you. The question is though, if you need more shots, can you attach your remote line directly to the small tank? The answer is yes. You can screw in your tank just as you normally would. Your remote line, which is attached to the larger tank on your vest, you can go ahead and attach the remote line directly to this little tank if this tank is empty. Now, since it's empty, the air will bypass the little tank and go directly into your marker. This will give you the advantage of a lot more shots per fill. On a side note, a lot of markers, Mil-Sigs, RAP4s, things like that, they have a guide pin that goes in through the back here. If you're having trouble because the gauge is in the way or the fill nipples is in the way, you can actually unscrew the tank a little bit, and then you can go ahead and put the guide pin in if it's not fitting normally. This won't break your seal and it won't affect the marker's performance. Okay, next let's talk about your mask. To me, the two most important things in paintball are one, being able to see your opponent, then being able to shoot them. So let me show you the best way that I've learned to clean my mask and minimize fog. The first thing you need to do is start off with a high quality mask. Believe me when I say it's worth the extra money to buy yourself a good high quality mask. So you got shot in the face here, you call yourself out, you're off the field, you're ready to clean it off. So the first thing I do is make sure my hand is clean. I wipe it on my BDUs or whatever you have laying around and make sure your fingers are clean and just wipe off the extra paint and the extra shell that you have here. At this point you're wiping it on just whatever rag you have laying around or on your pants or whatever, as long as your hands are clean. If you start going in with a rag, you might start scratching it up with twigs, dirt, whatever's attached to your rag. So at this point I'm not worried about smears. I just go ahead and wipe it off clean, and there you go. Now I go in with my anti-fog spray and my detail cloth. Use a soft cloth, detail cloth. Make sure there's no twigs on it, dirt, nothing like that. Now I go ahead and spray it. And I go ahead and wipe it clean. And there you go, that should get rid of any smears, remaining paint, whatever else you have on there. If you can, try to avoid spraying the inside. This is usually where the manufacturers coat the anti-fog layer and stuff like that. Now you get home, you take your mask apart, you're cleaning everything off. Now the rest of your mask, you can go ahead and clean in warm water and a mild soap. Now let's talk about your lens for a second. You see this black seal? This is the seal that's between the two lenses in a dual pane thermal lens. If you get this seal wet, you lose your anti-fog capabilities. So try the best you can to keep this seal dry. Next, let's talk about the paintballs themselves. If you've ever taken the time to read the box, you know that paintballs should be stored between the temperatures of about 60 degrees to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you live in one of these hot states like I do in Florida, you might want to get yourself a cooler for your paint. Now, you can get this freezer pack at your local grocery store for about $1. I usually use this smaller cooler here because it has this cool little net here, and I don't usually use more than 500 rounds anyway. A 500 bag fits perfectly right there. Obviously, if you need more ammo, you can get yourself a bigger pack. Although you might want to put a towel or something between the freeze pack itself and the bag so the moisture doesn't get over to your bag and your paint. Now I have here 4 magazines with me. All of this paint has been left out in a hot Florida day for about 2 hours. This paint here has been in a cooler for the 2 hours. This paint here has been just out in bags in the shade. Now I brought them in, I go ahead and put them in the magazines, and I release the followers. They've been in the followers under pressure for about 20 minutes now. This is your first magazine, the first one you insert in your gun. You're getting your gear ready and you're getting ready to go out to play. It's going to be under pressure until you take that first shot. So let's go ahead and take a look at these magazines. First, let's start with the paintballs that were stored in the cooler. As you can see here, these balls are still pretty round. You can get good, accurate shots out of these. You're going to have minimal ball breaks. It was stored at a proper temperature, so you're going to have good, accurate shots with these. And it's the same with this other paint. As you can see, still pretty round. There's a small dimple there, but that's not too major. You could still get good, accurate shots out of these. Now let's go over to the paint that was stored just out in bags in the shade. These have dimples. They're not perfectly round. They have dimples on both sides because of the pressure of both balls that were pushed together. The higher temperature has made them a little softer. They have bigger dimples, and you have a higher chance of breaking with these. These you'll get less accurate shots. They'll probably break more. It's usually not a good day when you use paint like this. Now, even though all paint is a little different, they all share the same quality in that in order to get the best performance out of them, you want to store them at the proper temperature. Hopefully I was able to show you something new today. Until next time.